All right, welcome to another episode of the Couch Coaches podcast where we talk about everything going on in sports. And there's a ton going on. Our teams, we won, but we beat a team that's not great, but it's good to win. Raiders lost. Numbers wise, pretty bad. I understand it was a lot closer than the numbers show, but the numbers look pretty bad. And you guys did good enough that they're pulling what's his name out and putting Russell Wilson in. So that's a big plus. You did lose your wide receiver, but he didn't have anything going on. So I'm thinking this week, and I'll just kind of open the floor, unless there's something you guys want to discuss specifically about your games, we can. But I thought there's so much going on in the NFL playoffs for baseball, WNBA finals and stuff. I figured we could kind of gloss over because it wasn't like that special for either of us, even though we won and you guys lost, just for the record. But if you guys, Raiders guys, if you guys want to talk about your game or Davante, go ahead, because we're going to jump into Davante next anyways.
Well, like you said, Davante are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
Oh, Davante's going to the Jets, so that's a done deal. But I think it's for as far as the Raiders, I think it's time for Antonio Pierce to start looking in the mirror, looking at himself and his coaching staff, because they come out and they say the same thing every week, and they go out and do the same thing every week. So that now it's on the coaches. They need to start taking responsibility and accountability for what's happening on the field. I've seen some saying today, what you allow, you promote. So they're not tackling on defense, they're not running the ball on offense, and now the coaches have to start looking at themselves and see what's going on. So, like I said though last week, I don't see much happening with the Raiders. They might win a few games, but they're not going anywhere.
Did you make anything of when Max Crosby came over and like pushed I mean, it wasn't like a big push, but it was like, you don't see that all the time. They're trying to downplay it, but like in the heat of the moment, it looked like he's pissed and he's pushing his.
When I seen it though, I must have missed it because when I seen it like he was fired up, just came off the field, and you know how emotional he is anyway.
Right.
He's a wiry guy, all of this, and it just seemed like he was just like. So I didn't take it as that he was like trying to disrespect the coach or nothing. It's just like being fired up and coming off the field or whatever. I don't know. And like you said, they downplayed it that way, like it was no big deal. So
Yeah.
but now you hear rumors of that the Detroit Lions might be making a phone call.
If they're not, they're silly for not doing it because,
Yeah.
I mean, Hutchinson going down is huge for them. And they have and that's the game of the weekend this weekend too. I mean, the Minnesota versus Detroit. I mean, that could be NFC Championship game, or well, maybe not.
Well,
because the Niners will be there, so it can't be both of those.
my issue with that is if they let Crosby go. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, because we always make bad decisions, just like the Davante Adams trade. I mean, and I'm sorry, he's still one of the best receivers in the league
For sure. Third round
at
pick.
31 years old. And we took a third round pick.
Third round conditional pick, yeah.
Yeah, with the position of, oh, if he do good, we'll give you a second round. Well, I mean, we could have got a first round pick and some money, or a first round pick and a player. It's just we sit in the same basket, and we're doing the definition of insanity, doing the same thing, thinking you're gonna get different results. It started out with I forgot his name just that quick. He was the linebacker. He went to Chicago.
Mac.
Oh yeah,
Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack. Started out with Khalil Mack. You know what I mean? This cat he wasn't wanting no money. All he wanted to do is for them to tell him, hey, yeah, we're going to pay you when that time comes. And then we let him go for pennies. Josh Jacobs. I mean, of course, I kind of agree with the trade of Josh Jacobs because he held out. Okay, if you're going to hold out, when you come to work, you need to be ready. And he wasn't football ready when he came back. So I kind of get that they traded him out of being pissed off. This Davante Adams, we undersold him. But like I told y'all, he was going to the Jets. If
My
y'all
take on
remember
that,
when I
though,
said that.
my take on that, brother James, is if you don't want to be here, you got to go. He's already, he don't want to be with the Raiders, and you can't blame him. He don't have a quarterback to throw him the ball, so he don't want to play. Even back when they were saying somebody's making business decisions, I think he was really pointing the finger at Davante. So you got a player here that don't want to be here. So he ain't gonna be putting out everything on the field anyway. And you get a chance to get rid of that salary. We owed him $80 million, so we got rid of that $80 million. And you just gotta sometimes you just gotta cut your losses. I mean, it wasn't a great deal, but hey, he don't want to be here anyway. So what are you gonna do?
So one thing I think is going to be very interesting though moving forward is you guys literally lose Davante, you're bringing in Brady as part owner. I'm wondering what his influence is going to be on what they do moving forward. As far as like, I'm assuming you guys are going to get a new coach. So do you get a new coach and a new GM? Is it going to be an old Patriots guy coming in? Is it going to be like what's that influence going to be? Because I don't see this coach making it to next season because they're not doing. You guys aren't. They're not really doing anything. I'm like the identity's still not there on offense. Granted, you don't have a quarterback, but the defense not playing. I mean, that was supposed to be his baby, and that's not doing well either. So,
Yeah, we'll see.
If the Raiders let him go after this season, then it will be difficult to attract another coach to come to the team. At some point, you have to be willing to, I don't want to say take your lumps, but you have to see it through at least another season, regardless of whatever happens this season, whether or not the Raiders make the playoffs or don't. I think you have to see it through. You have to make some moves in the off season, and address the issues in the off season, and then come back and then see what happens next year. I mean, just going through a head coach or a coordinator quarterback every couple of years, teams, when you don't have stability, then it's very difficult to have any type of success. Remember the Detroit Lions? Remember they went winless one year. That was before the current coach got there. But and here they are, a couple plays away from being in the Super Bowl last year. So you have to be willing to stay the course sometimes if you have leadership that understands that. And so the question is whether or not Mark Davis understands that, or for him it's strictly business. Whether or not the GM understands that. You got to see this through.
Well, I would let me just address Bill real quick. I would agree with that, but all right. You know how they say the wheels come off. If the wheels come off you only in week 7. If the wheels come off and your coach has just totally lost his team, what makes you think you want to bring him back next year? So you have to. It's evaluation. Now you got to see how he bring this team together. Can they find an identity? Your coach has to have something that's pointing the team in the right direction. So if he's just here, I don't care if you just brought him here for 5 minutes. If he's not showing any kind of nothing, he got to go. You can't bring him back because if the wheels fall off this season right now and they're going down the tubes, what's going to happen in the offseason? What makes you think he's going to be able to turn this around? He already lost his team. Once you lose your team, you lost your team.
He had the team at the end of last season when he actually went on a winning streak. So what changed in terms of his stock between the way the Raiders finished season last year and the rough start they got off this year?
well,
is he really that bad a coach?
The quarterback. Why wouldn't you stay with that quarterback that had you on that run last year? At least start with that guy. Why would you bring in this guy that there's not much separation with him? So I'm gonna stay with the guy that I was winning with.
That's why I say you give O'Connell the job and you see what happens.
Exactly. So I'm agreeing with you. But if the wheels fall off from here on out, then you got to get the coach got to go. He got to go. You can't go. What if he go? What if they go? What are they? They're 2. What if they go 2-15 or something? We bring him back. We got. You can't change. No. If he go 2-15, he's out of here.
But if you guys, so one thing that would, I mean, it's awful. It would be awful to go 2-15. But you guys would have a quarterback, and I think somebody next year that's going to be very, very popular with what he's doing in Washington. I think Cliff Kingsbury is going to be in a lot of interviews for head coach because he was able to take a young quarterback, and granted, he's got to have the right talent and everything. But he was able to take a young quarterback, and he looks amazing this year. So you guys kind of had Cliff Kingsbury on your radar last year before he started. He does this weird thing where he kind of bounces around in interviews and accepts jobs and then backs out and takes somebody else. So he's kind of funky that way. But I don't think that would be a terrible position moving forward where you start over. And granted, the league did screw you guys a few years ago with the whole, they're doing all this big investigation on Washington. And the only thing that comes out about Washington is Gruden's a jerk on emails and said a bunch of stupid stuff. So like it probably would still be Gruden in there right now. So there would have been some consistency, good or bad. But the league really did you guys dirty on that. Like,
I'm not. I'm not a Gruden fan, so
well, of course. I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously now, no, now, but like there was some consistency set up there. So, going from Davante, Brother James, I'm going to come to you. I don't know if you saw the game last night. Do you think Davante is going to make a difference with the Jets? Do you think are they a playoff team because they have Davante?
I think any team he goes to and he plays like he can play can make a difference. But my issue with that is just like you saw Rodgers throwing the ball to the receivers, underthrowing them. He's gonna get hurt. And so I don't see him making a difference because of that. I see him playing a couple of games and probably being injured.
I thought Rodgers
or doing like he was thinking at the Raiders, oh, they're gonna get me killed. So he starts looking out for his body instead of doing his thing.
Rodgers was like, he was much more accurate last night than he's been, but man, he was throwing balls into windows that were going to get his wide receivers murdered. They're like three dudes all running them at the same time, and he drops it in that way. Like, how's he going to hold on to the ball? There's three dudes there. Like, granted, the ball was well placed, but wide receivers are going to die. And that last play, how Rodgers put it on Williams when he underthrew that ball so bad.
Yes, and the boy slipped trying to get back to it.
He was running the wrong route. Bro, your throw was probably like 20 yards short of what it should have been, even if whether or not he ran the right route. It was a terrible throw.
Yeah. You know, I think he got concussed.
Shorter though. What if the route was supposed to be cut down short and not going deep?
He was saying it was a double streak. He was saying the route was a double streak. So he saw triple coverage on this. This is what Rodgers said. He saw triple coverage on this side. This guy's supposed to be going down the red, whatever that means. So he just aired it out to him. And he said he was running the wrong route. But if it's two streaks just go that way. There's no.
Hey, to answer your question about will Davante make a difference? I think he will, because looking at the Jets' schedule, their schedule is not that they don't have a real tough schedule going further in, and plus him and Rodgers got a chemistry already. They got their so get a little bit of timing under their belt, a little practice under their belt, build that rapport back up again. I think he can make a difference. And just looking at their schedule, they might be able to go on a run.
He's going to get the ball a lot.
I mean, he is, but Rodgers knows where to put it to him. You know what I mean? He knows his spot where he likes the ball. So yeah, like Deacon Greg said. So yeah, but I really do think that he's gonna throw one short and he's gonna get clobbered, and that's gonna be
it. The key to the Jets competing with the Bills for the division is not Aaron Rodgers and it's not Davante Adams. It's Bryce Hall. Give that guy the ball because he is a playmaker and he has the mismatch advantage against most defenses. You saw what they were doing last night. I mean, they were running the ball. Get the ball in his hands. Davante Adams will help. Aaron Rodgers at 40 years old, but I'm telling you, Bryce Hall is the key. He's the key to that offense, and they have a very good defense.
Yeah, you're right. That running game is good, but like I say, Adams is going to help that out, though. He's going to even help.
He'll help, yeah, but I'm saying that the key, I'm looking forward to that December 29th rematch at Buffalo because, to be honest, the Bills messed around at the end of the first half, only rushing two guys and letting Rodgers hit the Hail Mary at the end of the first half. The Bills were up at that point outplaying the Jets. The Jets made it a game in the second half. So I'm interested to see that rematch because both teams will have an identity by they're going to know what they are. They're going to know what they have to do. I'm looking forward to that game.
Well, if the Jets field goal kicker could hit kicks, it's a different game. If they're not winning, it's at least a lot closer at the end.
Can we at least just say what are the 49ers going to do against the Chiefs? I got to hear something. I mean, you got that funny Steeler jersey on. I don't know what's going on with that.
Personally, I'm not looking forward to this game at all. I think their offense is going to. I think they're going to dice up our secondary.
I'm looking forward to the game because it's at some point you have to say when you have a team and you have someone who has your number. At some point, you have to have an answer. And the coaching between Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan, Reid has clearly had the advantage. But the fact, in terms of offensive plays, I mean, Andy Reid, he knows how to just dial up some plays. Shanahan has to go once again against Steve Spagnuolo, right? That's going to be a challenge because the Chiefs have the second or third best defense. They're holding teams like 16 points a game. The 49ers with that defense and their not so special teams may have to find a way to put up 30. And I'm not sure how they're going to do that. They may have to get some turnovers. I believe the game will not be like it was a couple of years ago when the Chiefs just came in and just ran roughshod over them early in the game. I believe it's going to be a closer game, only because if you look at the stats, Purdy has outplayed Mahomes, but because he's had to, because he's had a better defense. So it's going to really, to me, depend on what the Niners do with that defense. If they can't somehow keep the Chiefs in check, not shut them down, keep them in check to give the offense a chance, then it could be a long day. But I believe it's going to be closer than people think.
What's going on with you guys' running game? I heard your other running back, he's hurt now. He got like something with his shoulder.
He'll be ready.
He'll be ready?
He'll be ready. Yeah.
It's our kickers. It's our kickers that come in.
I'm telling you, it's our not so special teams. It's it's our kickoff coverage. Once again,
y'all gonna get a kick. He gonna get the shot. He'll be all right.
We have our third kicker. We have our third kicker this year because
49ers have to play a perfect game. They have to win a turnover battle. They have to find a way to remember.
They're gonna drag y'all. They're gonna drag y'all, bro. It's just the truth.
We'll see. That's why they played the game.
That's why they play the game, Bill.
All right. So speaking of getting drug, Brother James, I'm gonna start with you. How bad are the Cowboys?
Who you starting with, me?
Well, I think we could beat the Cowboys, but
so that's
no, I'm just
very bad.
They're struggling with the run. Didn't they get Zeke back? Did I see him?
Yep. Zeke back. That's like
okay. I wasn't crazy. I was like, wait a minute, is it okay?
And he's doing nothing. He did nothing. He did so much better last year with the Patriots. He's doing nothing on the Cowboys.
Yeah, he's doing nothing. But they don't have a running game. Once again, they struggling, and then they paid old boy all that money, and he ain't really doing. He's not earning his paycheck
because he needs a running. That's the craziest thing to me.
But
he's so much better with the running game.
They need a running game.
No running game. It's insane.
They can't stop the run. They're deep. Let's talk about
exactly. I was going to say
the defense.
The issue
you can run all over them.
Yeah. I mean, granted, Detroit
booty.
Yeah. Detroit had a plan, and Detroit was up for that game, and the Cowboys weren't. They've lost 4 straight games at home by 20, and they've been down 20 plus points in all 4 of those games, including the playoffs at home. That's unheard of. This is not the Cowboys from the 90s. I don't know what's going on.
What you're saying, Bill? Defense wins championships. They don't have no defense. They cannot stop.
Have a defense
at all. They cannot stop the.
So that means the Niners ain't gonna win no championship either because they don't.
We already know that. That's a given. So
we'll be ready. We'll be ready.
Hey, how about Jerry Jones going off on the reporter? You guys see that today?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
That guy's nuts. Gonna get the poor guy fired for asking him a question.
That made about much sense as Nick Sirianni going after the fans when the Eagles. You have to realize when sometimes you just have, it's not an argument you want to get into. Sometimes you just have to just say, no, it's just not worth my time.
Exactly.
Because nothing good is going to come out of it.
They got beat the worst under his ownership at home on his birthday. That is just, if you don't like,
they couldn't even get him a good birthday present.
It's so fun. So as I'm watching this too, like, I'm not really even putting this on the coaches. I feel like the team is not well put together, which is that's the one thing. Like, as much as I dislike the Cowboys, that's the one thing the last 10 years or so, they were a well put together team. And I'm wondering if like Jason Garrett had more kind of say in the drafting and stuff. And maybe that's why their offense was at least constructed. I mean, not coached better, but at least constructed better, because it just blows my mind that like Dak's numbers, when he has a rusher that gets over 100 yards, he's able to use play action and all this stuff and take the pressure off of him and kind of move the linebackers around. His numbers are fantastic. And the one thing they just refused to address in the offseason was the running back. I can't even understand like what
And they were saying Derrick Henry was right there, wanting to, he wanted to be a free agent going there.
And Baltimore's paying him nothing, and wearing him out.
Exactly. Hey, but the one thing about the Cowboys, they always had a tight end. Do they have a tight end? I don't even, they always were known for that great tight end that you could always check it down to and keep you in the game. So CD Lamb, that's all you ever hear. They're trying to go to CD Lamb. So
they used to run 2 tight ends.
Yeah. So I don't know what their identity is on offense.
Yeah. So we're gonna potentially come back if we have time. Potentially come back to football, but I want to discuss the WNBA finals. We got the Minnesota Lynx against the New York Liberty. From everything that I've seen, Minnesota, like I didn't really pay attention to them during the season. They seem very, very scrappy. They are way down. And first game they came back in New York and actually beat them. Second game they almost came back, and then New York pulled away at the end. But Deacon Hill, I'm going to start with you. Just thoughts on what you've seen so far from the WNBA finals. Which are the highest rated WNBA finals in the history of the WNBA, which is big.
Yeah. And they also had like 18,000 people in the arena that night. But like you said, I hadn't really been following, but I was watching Partner Interruption with Mike Wilbon, and he was saying how exciting the game was, and he said he even turned away from the 49er game and watched that game. So then that's what caught my attention. But like you said, I started reading up on them and stuff, and they play again tomorrow. They play the series is tied 1-1. And they play game 3 tomorrow, and it's the best 3 out of 5. So they don't play a 7-game series; it's only a 5-game series. So I'm definitely going to tune in tomorrow. But I was looking at that the star for the Liberty, and her name is Brianna Stewart. That girl, she had 21 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and a singles high 7 steals. That girl was off the chain. So that. And then, like you said, they always, the Liberty jumps out to a big lead in both games. The first game, Minnesota was able to come back, and then again they jumped out to like a 18-point lead the second game, and they came back and made a scrappy game. So I could see what Michael Wilbon was talking about, how exciting the game was. So I'm definitely tuning in tomorrow to see them play.
Well, they were up like 15 with like 3 minutes left. I mean, so they came back like right at the very end too, which has got to be. I mean, in New York too. That's just, man, talk about popping the balloon of your fan base. Brother Bill.
Yeah, I think, so I believe from a sheer team makeup and talent wise, I believe Liberty have the advantage. I mean, Brianna Stewart, she's, regular season, 20 points a game, their points leader. Jaquel Jones gets you about, almost, 10 rebounds a game. And Sabrina Ionescu, who I remember seeing when she was in college, she's good for like 6 assists a game. So they're a pretty well-balanced team. But with Minnesota, you've got Nafisa Collier, who's their leading points and rebound, person. And so it just seems like the Liberty can do more offensively. Where they got into trouble is their defense in the second half of that first game. And so I believe that I don't say it's their series to lose, but they definitely don't want to lose game 3 at Minnesota, because it's funny, because in a short series, it's, again, best of 5, I'm just surprised with it being a finals, it's not a best of 7. I think the WNBA is leaving some revenue on the floor, but that's a different story. But I'm interested to see how the teams play in a pivotal game 3 when it's only best of 5. If Minnesota gets game 3, then they're really in the driver's seat, because then they could close out the Liberty at home on Friday.
Yeah, Brother James, have you had a chance to see any of the finals?
No, I was actually traveling this weekend, but I was, like Deacon Greg said, I was going to try to tune in tomorrow, because I was hearing rumors how good it was.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you have like a big underdog story, because the Liberty were the number 1 team for like the season, so people are expecting, it's in New York, and I think there's like that big town, small town kind of, and of course New York's going to win, it's going to be overwhelming I mean, and in reality, like the WNBA is not used to playing in front of 18,000 people. So you have like, it's a huge game, but then you're also playing in front of bigger and bigger and bigger crowds, and it means more. Like I mean, it's almost like college football when you're playing big games and stuff, but then when you get to the finals and you're playing, in a football stadium and there's like 70,000 people, 80,000 people. The whole dynamic is different.
Yeah.
Real quick, just to flip back to football, and then we're going to get out of here. It looks like there's going to be a lot of job openings for coaches, and Belichick being Belichick he's always on he's always on the tip of the tongue of like, okay, what teams are going to go to? So I listed a couple teams. The Jets obviously have to have one and I don't see Belichick going there because I think he hates the Jets or the Jets hate him because he quit the day after they hired him or something like that. So probably not great there. Jacksonville, which is definitely going to come open because they suck. Cincinnati's not looking great. Philadelphia is not looking great. And then this is not to be mean, but Vegas isn't looking great either. So you
hate your coach, so that might be an opening there too. So
we tried to get him for DC. He wouldn't come be defensive coordinator. We tried to do that in the offseason, which would have been pretty nice, especially with what's going on now. That would have been pretty good if he had done that. But he's on TV now. So are there any teams that you see him going to more likely than others?
My question is, nobody hired him last time he was available. What makes you think that everybody's gonna be knocking down his door? Maybe Jacksonville, some team like that, but I don't see all these Philadelphia. There ain't nobody gonna be knocking his door down. I don't see that.
No, he's done because the world thinks that he wasn't the coach. That was Tom Brady's team.
What if Brady brought him to Vegas? That'd be wild.
Yeah, be quiet, hey.
Yeah, I think if he wants to go to me, I don't know because I just didn't really follow in the off season whether or not teams were seeking him, and that was because they felt he wasn't qualified. Don't know. I mean, you could assume that because there are other coaches who got hired, and you're saying are they really better coaches than him? But in terms of, I think the team where if he was interested, I believe he'd have the best chance of success. I would say between either the Cincinnati Bengals or possibly the Eagles. I mean, the Bengals, they got off to a rough start, but just from a sheer talent and execution, and they got the defense, they got the quarterback, they have the ingredients. It's tough that they're in the wrong division competing, with the Ravens. But I think if there was of the teams that you listed, Joe, I think that would be a team where you probably the best chance of success would be at Cincinnati.
Yeah, I agree with you that the best chance of success, but I don't think those teams are going to turn over their coaches because those teams already had success with those coaches. They lost coordinators and stuff like that. So I think they will keep their coaches. I was going to say anybody that would be desperate enough to give him a head coach would probably be Jacksonville.
Yeah. So you think it'll be desperate because I look at Philly and I don't know. I mean, I don't know his personality with the owner. I don't know any of that stuff, but I look at Philly and just go, man, that's a really good team. And there's no way Sirianni's going to be there next year. The dude's he's a clown. He is a clown. I don't know who they're going to bring in, but Sirianni is an absolute clown.
Well, they got to fix that secondary. That secondary is looking just as bad as it did at the end of last season.
Well, and if you have good offense and what's his name, Josh, your old coach.
Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, McDaniels. Like he's a good OC. He's a horrible head coach, but he's a good OC if he's just doing that. My biggest concern with Bill, and he's been so fun since he hasn't had a job. Like when he's on TV and stuff and talking, and he'll run it. He's been fun. He's been on a total PR. Hey guys, I'm not such a jerk campaign ever since he got let go, which is kind of fun to watch. But as long as he doesn't bring his DC. The one he had when the Patriots played the Eagles in the Super Bowl. The guy that's supposed to be like a rocket scientist genius guy.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. I know he's talking about
freaking horrific defensive coordinator. As long as he doesn't bring him, I would be cool with him coming on.
Not Romeo Cornell.
No. The one he like recently had. I'm totally blanking.
Matt.
Patricia.
Pat Patricia, yeah.
Keep him away from my defense because that dude, for somebody that's so brilliant at defense, can't seem to come up with a game plan that doesn't keep teams scoring 700 points against them. So, all right. So, Raiders have the Rams. That's totally winnable.
The Rams.
Yeah,
nothing's totally winnable for the Raiders.
I like to
No,
hear
because
I like to
we
hear that.
lost to Carolina.
That's hey man, this is just like I don't have to say anything. You guys just we just read.
You're hoping that we beat the Rams for you guys. That's what you're hoping.
It'd be more fun. It'd be more fun if we both come. If we beat the Chiefs, if we beat the Chiefs, it's gonna be bittersweet because it doesn't really count. Like I want to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. It's nice. It would be nice to beat them in the regular season, but I want to beat them in the Super Bowl when it really
don't be
counts.
trying to get trying to hedge your team your fall this week.
We're
you
going.
want to beat them anytime you play them. Don't be saying
No. I'm just saying it wouldn't be. It's still be like why didn't we do that in the Super Bowl? There's gonna be a little bit of that. Be a little bit of that.
Yeah,
Bill,
the Niners have to stack. Niners have to stack up some wins because those 2 losses against Arizona and the Rams are. I just concerned that it's going to cost them. I mean, forget trying to have the number 1 seed because they're 3 games behind Minnesota because it was a tiebreaker. So it's all about playoff seeding. But the main thing is they got to get out of the game with the win. Be great. They got to get out of it healthy. We're running out of bodies.
Yeah.
Hey, keep Debo out of the backfield. You guys gonna get that guy killed. You better keep him out of the backfield.
Hey, Amazon sell bodies
against the Chiefs defense. I agree with you, Brother Greg.
Look, y'all can get stuff from Amazon. They sell everything.
Also, we got jokes. See, I'm trying to be nice and not talk, too bad about the Raiders on the air.
UPS delivers. UPS delivers.
Oh man, I hope we trade for Crosby. And you can both on one side.
James, can you help him out? Can you help him out? Can you?
I got him. Hey, Crosby's not going nowhere. He's gonna retire Raider, dog.
He's retiring this year.
Never say never.
I would love him in Detroit. I mean, his whole vibe fits Detroit. That would be.
Oh goodness! Anytime to stop.
Be pretty sweet.
It's time to stop.
It's time to stop. All right. You guys have a good week. We'll see you guys next Tuesday.
All right.